Have you ever seen someone underestimated so badly that it turned into the biggest mistake of their bullies' lives? Imagine a quiet new girl, nervous on her first day, walking into a school filled with strangers. Everyone assumes she's fragile, weak, and an easy target. But what nobody knows is that she carries a strength and skill no one can imagine. Something that will not only shock the entire school but also teach everyone a lesson they'll never forget. This is the story of Mia, the girl the bullies wished they had never messed with. The sound of the morning bell echoed through the halls of Crestwood High. Students rushed through the corridors, slamming lockers, laughing loudly, forming their usual cliques. It was the same routine every day for everyone except Mia. Mia Thompson, 15 years old, walked into Crestwood for the very first time. She had just moved from another city after her father's transfer in the military. Her dark brown hair hung loose around her shoulders, and she clutched her backpack's straps tightly, trying to hide her nervousness. Her mother had reminded her before leaving the car, "Just be yourself, sweetheart. People will see your heart." But as Mia walked down the hallway, she already felt the sharp stares. Students whispered, some giggled. Others looked her up and down, as if deciding where she fit in, or if she fit in at all. Mia found her first class and sat in the back. She wanted to stay unnoticed, just blend in. But that wasn't Crestwood High's way. During lunch, she carried her tray to an empty table. A hush fell over the cafeteria for a brief second, then the whispers began again. At a nearby table sat three of the school's most notorious bullies: Jessica, the ringleader with flawless blonde curls; Kyle, a tall basketball player who smirked at every opportunity; and Ryan, his loyal sidekick who laughed at everything louder than necessary. Jessica noticed Mia first. She leaned over and whispered something to Kyle, who chuckled and gave a nod. Maya could feel it before it even happened. They stood up and walked toward her. Well, what do we have here?" Jessica sneered, eyeing Mia's plain sweater and sneakers. "New girl alert! Looks like someone just crawled out of the bargain bin." The table behind Jessica erupted in laughter. Mia froze, staring at her food, not wanting trouble. Kyle added, "Yeah, she looks like she couldn't even hurt a fly." He reached over and tapped her tray, causing her juice to spill across the table. Ryan laughed louder than anyone else. "Oops, guess new girl doesn't know how to hold a cup." The cafeteria roared. Maya's face burned. She swallowed her pride, stood up, and quietly cleaned the mess with napkins. She didn't say a word. She could have, but she didn't. Not yet. That silence made Jessica grin wider. "Pathetic," she spat. "This is going to be fun." From that day forward, the bullying continued. They tripped Mia in the hallway. They shoved books from her arms. They mocked her accent whenever she answered a question in class. And through it all, Maya stayed silent. But what no one knew, what even Maya hoped to keep hidden, was the truth. She wasn't weak. She wasn't fragile. She had spent years training in martial arts under her father, who was a decorated combat trainer. Since the age of 6, Maya had been practicing every morning before sunrise, earning belts in karate, taekwondo, and jiu-jitsu. She had learned controlled discipline and the power of restraint. She didn't fight because she couldn't. She didn't fight because she knew she didn't need to. But the bullies were pushing her closer to the edge every day. One afternoon, things escalated. Jessica cornered Maya in the locker room after gym. "Listen, loser," Jessica hissed, slamming a locker shut beside Mia's head. "You don't belong here. So either you do our homework for the rest of the year, or things are going to get ugly." Mia looked up, her calm eyes meeting Jessica's glare. For the first time, she spoke firmly. "No." Jessica blinked.
"What did you just say?" "I said no,"
Mia repeated. Jessica's face twisted with anger. Big mistake. That moment sparked a storm that was about to change everything at Crestwood High. The very next day, the bullies decided to make an example out of Mia. It happened after school in the courtyard where most students passed before heading home. Jessica, Kyle, and Ryan waited by the fountain, their eyes scanning the crowd. Word had already spread that something was about to go down. Students gathered, forming a loose circle, their phones ready to record. When Mia walked out, clutching her books, Jessica called out,
"Hey, new girl!"
ready to pay the price for saying no. The crowd murmured. Mia stopped, her heart pounding, but her face remained calm. She had warned herself again and again not to let this side of her life show. But maybe it was time. Ryan shoved her shoulder. "Say something, freak." Mia steadied herself. "I don't want any trouble. Leave me alone." Kyle smirked. Too late for that. He lunged forward, pretending to throw a punch, expecting her to flinch like she always did. But this time Mia didn't move. She didn't blink. She just stared at him with unshakable control. That was the first time the crowd grew silent. Jessica snapped,
Do it, Kyle!
"Teach her a lesson." And that's when everything changed. Kyle grabbed at Maya's arm. In a flash, she twisted, pivoted, and used his own momentum to flip him onto the ground. Gasps erupted all around. Kyle groaned, clutching his back, too stunned to get up. Ryan charged next, but Mia sidestepped and swept his legs out from under him, sending him crashing down beside Kyle. The crowd roared in disbelief. Jessica's face went pale. What are you?" Mia stood tall, her voice steady but powerful. "I'm someone who's done being pushed around." The Jessica, humiliated, lunged at Mia with all her fury. But Mia blocked her strike with ease, gently but firmly grabbing her wrist and twisting it just enough to make Jessica yelp and fall to her knees. Mia leaned down, her voice calm yet commanding. "This isn't strength, Jessica. Hurting others doesn't make you strong. It makes you weak." The courtyard was frozen. No one had ever stood up to Jessica and her crew like this before, and no one could believe the quiet new girl had just dismantled the three of them without breaking a sweat. Mia released Jessica and stepped back. She could have humiliated them further. She could have fought harder. But she didn't. She showed control, something they would never understand. Jessica scrambled to her feet, red-faced, tears threatening to spill. Without a word, she stormed off, Kyle and Ryan following behind like wounded shadows. The crowd erupted in cheers, claps, and shouts of admiration. Phones buzzed as the video spread like wildfire. But more importantly, for the first time, Mia felt seen. Over the next few days, things shifted at Crestwood High. Students who had once whispered behind her back now approached her with respect. Some even apologized for laughing at Jessica's cruelty. And slowly, Mia began to feel less like an outsider and more like she belonged. But Mia never let the attention get to her head. She knew the real lesson wasn't about fighting. It was about standing up for yourself when it truly matters, and knowing that true strength comes from discipline, not from cruelty. On her way home one afternoon, Mia thought about her father's words during training. The greatest fighter isn't the one who wins the most battles. It's the one who knows when not to fight. That was the message Mia carried with her, and the one Crestwood High would never forget. And that's the story of Mia, the new girl the bullies underestimated, only to discover she was an unbeatable fighter. But more than her strength, it was her control, her courage, and her refusal to stoop to their level that made her truly powerful. Remember this: never mistake kindness for weakness, because sometimes the quietest people hold the strongest hearts. So, what do you think? Should Maya's story inspire schools everywhere? If you believe her courage sends a message the world needs, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Story Sphere, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that strength isn't about fists. It's about character.